I'm Andy.
And today we're talking about a little game that I saw at EGX, but you've played a little bit more of. But it's Shoe from Coatsink.
Yeah, it's a very obscure indie title that I think it's reminiscent of the old and the more recent Rayman games.
Okay.
Basically, this is a 2.5 dimension platform game.
Yeah.
Your basic beginning to end left to right type platformer.
Classic platformer then.
Yeah. And the story about it, I'll go into that first, revolves around reuniting with villagers after Shu gets separated from the rest of the villagers after an evil attack that results in a storm. So it's quite diverse.
Well, classic sort of bit Sonic, bit of... Well, there's a lot of sort of old platformer things in there, isn't there?
Yeah, people go missing, you look for them, get to the end of the level. It's weird what Little Bit Planet tried to do without the customization, I'd say.
Okay. What's the style like then? Because
Anyway,
when in a hall full of like hundreds of games back at EGX, this one did stand out for the style of it and just what
definitely.
game is.
It's a hand-drawn, beautifully graphical game. It contains 5 different levels or areas, have 3 stages. And as the stages go on, they do increase in difficulty. And the style plays much like you're collecting babbies and they're little villages, and they result in a better score at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You've also, a great gameplay element to it is you do find various companions around the map that disappear and reappear within later levels.
Yeah, that was the thing I was curious about, because seeing it play, it looked... Did you play Trine or Trine or whatever it was?
It was the ones that I got was you had one where you could smash through barriers, you could jump higher, you could manipulate your surroundings. For example, you had these blue flowers, and if you press B or circle, whatever controller you have, it would open up the flowers so you could step on them. It's a very tactical element to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've seen anything like it, because I mentioned Trine there, and the thing about Trine was it was designed around co-op, but you had like these 3 or whatever, I never played the sequels, people who you could alternate between, and each would have like a different power that would be able to attack a puzzle or a platform in a specific way. So it sounds a lot like that, but...
Oh yeah, it has diverse paths. For example, when you're looking for the baby villagers,
yeah,
I think they're called babbies, but I'm not 100% sure. A lot of the times they are hidden, so you have to go into a complete other direction of the map, whether that's vertical or traverse or whatever, something like that.
So, question: you talk about these characters who you can get to help you and support you.
Yeah.
Is it like one level, one set, or is it one level, loads, and depending on who you find, it'll play in a different way?
Yeah. Well, you get, for example, in one of the levels, you get both the one that helps you to jump higher, and also the one to manipulate surroundings. So you constantly have to remember what these 2 actually do and work your way around it. And later on, they do drop out, and you get some others. So throughout the other levels, you do find new ones and lose them as well.
So what do you think of the art style then? Because
I think it's really brilliant. You do get each area or level is completely different. The set of 3, I mean. For example, the first one, you begin on what I can only describe as a beachy island type.
And, I picture it,
You do have a level where it's in a foresty type of background, so it's a lot darker.
Yeah, I mean, we've all played sort of the 90s era platformers. These are like the types of levels that you used to get in these sorts of things.
What I do have to mention, though, is the game itself, although it has a retro feel to it, there is no enemies as such for you to defeat in this game.
That's unconventional.
The only enemy which technically you get is you get a chase sequence at the end of the 3rd stage in every level.
Wasn't that in like the most recent Rayman, if I remember correctly?
I think so.
But you also had to like fight people, but you had that end level where you had to like run as fast as you can through the level.
Yeah, but this demon, you're not. If it catches you, it's instant death. You lose a life.
That makes sense.
You gain lives at every checkpoint, so it contradicts itself. I
wouldn't say contradicts. It's just it rewards you for keeping ahead of the monster.
Yeah, but I think when I was playing it, the amount of times that, for example, I was dying was a fault of my own. For example, missing a ledge or forgetting to open the flower when I'm jumping, or similar to what you do when you're playing something like Sonic.
Is it hard, easy, unforgiving? The reason I say this is because that seems to be a common theme of a lot of platformers now. They take what you grew up with and just to throw difficulty in there, that's the only difference that marks them from the classic stuff.
Well, there's no clear difficulty level. It's not, when nothing is chasing you, it's not chasing. It's quite an easy game. You can learn and anybody can pick it up. When the demon's chasing you, though, first time, it can get really, really, I'd say, you have to have an instinct about yourself when you're jumping. It can be quite difficult.
So it's like getting quite a noticeable difficulty spike.
Yeah, but with this game, I don't think where your traditional difficulty level, they won't work because there's no enemy to change. The only thing you could change will be the speed of the fast.
I gotta say, that's quite refreshing, that, because for people, like me, sometimes we don't want to play like an extremely challenging game, which is, let's say Dark Souls for the sake of an example. Sometimes we just want to have like a relaxing, like sort of pretty game. It doesn't really...
Oh, yeah.
And this seems to be fitting. I don't know, I'm describing it in weird terms, but you know what I mean? Some people just like a game to relax to, with like an occasional challenge. And this seems like a perfect fit.
Oh, yeah, it's one you can definitely pick up and play. The only criticism that I'd have about it was the tutorials themselves as you're playing don't necessarily, on the PC version, I'm not sure about the console version, it doesn't clearly say which button you have to press, so you do have to figure that out. For example, Shu has a glide ability, where you press both, it was LB and RB together, and you just glide, similar to your Spyro the Dragon-esque glide.
I see.
But it basically just tells you an arrow that goes to the right and no button to press. It just says you can glide. So you have to figure that out yourself.
So it's recommended then?
Yeah, it's a great game. It's from researchers that have done, a lot of people have said it's a bit short. For example, I think it's 4 or 5 hours you can finish it in.
Well, that's not a bad thing, Sometimes, people like a game that you can just blast through in a weekend. They don't want a game that you put hundreds upon hundreds of hours in. And,
replayability as well. Yeah. That's definitely a high point. You're not going to be able to collect everything on one.
Yeah, okay, that sounds cool. That's you played it on Steam, didn't you?
Yeah, with a Xbox controller. I'm not sure how it fares with the keyboard yet, but I'm guessing it'll be pretty straightforward.
So that's on Steam, which you played it on. It's also available on PS4 now, I believe, and that is from Coatsink up in Sunderland, Newcastle. It's in the northeast of England, either way. So would you say it's support your local games industry, and this is like a great game to get, would you say?
Oh, definitely. It's one that you need to be aware of, I think. It's one of those games which is one of those gems that doesn't seem to have been covered too much in any media-y related.
Well, that's the nature of indie games, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's Shu. And if you like this video, well, like it and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more reviews of more lovely, lovely games in the near future.